to describe. Like it's such a obvious it's like such an obvious error and such like a very costly mistake.
Yeah, it was one of those situations as well where we saw you were pretty frustrated after the fight. You took the gloves off there for a sec. I think the commentator said, "What was going through your mind? Did you taking off the gloves? Was it just pure frustration? In that moment, were you thinking maybe this is it? What was the sort of thought process behind it?"
Oh, always, yeah. You're always like frustrated after a loss. Yeah, like a balance everything, like sheer frustration. Um, like you're disappointed, and then you get back to the hotel, and I'm like, yeah. In that moment, I was like, that's I'm done. I'm finished with the shitty sport. I'm done. Then you get back to the hotel and you like sit down and you think about it and you realize you're not good at anything else either. So it's like, well, I was thinking, well, shit, I've kind of painted myself into a bit of a corner here.
Mm. Are you happy?
You can't like, yeah, people think you're like gonna be like rolling around in depression and like not getting out of bed, but it's just like I know what it is. It is this is a sport I've been doing and like following for my entire adult life. So I like it's like always a possibility, but you're not like rolling around like a loss like this. You're not like rolling around in depression, like super upset. Like it kind of it's self-explanatory and it is what it is. And I can honestly say like, I'm not any more upset than like when I lost the Poirier fight. Like people are gauging like the fan reaction to the fight or like how they felt about the fight, but not but that doesn't mean that that's like a true representation of how like you feel about the fight. Like I'm as upset about that fight. Well, it's like a little bit different. The fan reaction was like good to the last one, to the Poirier loss. You pretty much go like worst case scenario in the last fight, but it's like I'm just as disappointed about like both are losses, both over time, and you understand that if you follow the sport enough, like people remember, oh, that was a great fight, then time passes, 2 years. Oh, did he fight Dustin Poirier? 5 years later, 5 years after the fight, they're just like, they look up your record and they just see the like the red and the green. They just see win and loss. So I understand that, in the sport, like losing is losing and winning is winning. And it doesn't like, it's that same thing, like an inch or a mile. It doesn't matter if you win, you win, and if you lose, you lose. And if you follow the sport like long enough, you see that happens time and time again.
Dominic Toretto, doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. So yeah, Fast and the Furious going Dan. Yeah.
And Dan, like you mentioned, you're over there training right now. Would it be safe to say that you're sort of excited to get back in there now, and that thought is just completely gone out of your brain at this point, or is it still sort of in the back there?
Oh, it's like yeah, like I was saying earlier, like when you lose, it's never like you're rolling around depressed. Yeah, and then I was like, oh, maybe I'll drink my sorrows away. I went to the bars, $20 a beer in Abu Dhabi, and I said, well, that plan's out the bloody window.
Conor McGregor has a bottle of Proper 12 in his room, Dan. You should have gone up there, knocked on the door.
Hey, buddy, can I come in?
Someone should have given me his room number. But $20 a beer, I was like, well, I'm not drinking my sorrows. I'm going to the gym. But it's never like you're rolling around like an overwhelming depression, like you're sad or anything. When you are like a loss like that, it's just like more of like a constant ringing. It's just like a constant ringing in your ear, like you're just like it's just ringing in your ear, and it just like over time it'll irritate you long enough that you need to. It's like an itch you need to scratch, and you need to get back in there and like avenge it. And the only thing that I've found that will ever get rid of that is a win. Is to turn that around. We're in the sport of you're as good as your last fight. So yeah.
Okay.
If that answers your question.
Yeah. But also, just to like ask you also bluntly, when you were taking your gloves off in the middle of the cage, you weren't considering retirement seriously at that point, were you? Because that's not what people do. They take their gloves off, and when people see the gloves come off, they go, "Oh, dude, this is a retirement." That wasn't that. That was just frustration, right?
Like I was, like you invest so much into the sport. You invest so much. Like that was. I didn't even like you prepare for like a bad case, but that's like a whole nother level. That's the first time that's ever happened to me in my career to not only lose, but to lose in that kind of fashion where you're out back and you're fine. Like you go back to the hotel, I was like, you don't even feel like you've been in a fight. At least you go out there, you fight your heart out, you get busted up, someone gets the better of you, but you tried. You went out there, you went out on your shield, you tried, you fought hard. That's a lot easier to take. That's like because you went out there and you got. I didn't even feel like I got in a fight. Like we arrived back at the hotel and I didn't even. I was kind of like, was that, you're just thinking more is like, is that a bad dream? You're just like, it's more of like a bad dream case scenario.
Did you get a chance also to speak to Michael Chandler before you got off the island, or sort of communicate with him after the fight at all, or was there no real opportunity?
No, I bumped into Henry Hoof first. At I just went down and get something to eat. He come up to me and just like everyone knows what it is. And then I bumped into Michael in the elevator going back up. And yeah, just same thing. Like there's no like malice in it. There's no it is what it is. Like I just wished him the best as he moves on. Same thing. He just wished me the best for my career, and that's just what you do, like at this level.
I'm curious, how long after the fight did you actually did you sit down and watch the fight? I know fighters have different processes for how long they go back and watch them. Sometimes fighters never even watch their losses. What was it like for you? How quickly did you watch the fight back?
Oh no, I watched it like fairly quick. I remember like a lot of it you can just go from memory. Like I remember it's just like he changed levels. I think like I relied on my instincts or relied on my reaction time. He sold the level change well. I thought he was going for a takedown, comes up steal the punch. Like there's a million things I could have done that would have changed that. There's a million different technical things or a million different reactions that I could have done and that not happened.